Exactly.
But I'm not promising.
Okay guys, today we're going to talk about number conversions. I have a video on number conversions. I think it's too much for you guys right now. I kind of explain why. It kind of really goes in depth about how you write, about setting it up. So you can set it up to where Automagic kind of takes care of it. The Automagic keys kind of takes care of it. Like if you have a 9 number, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's a 9 number, then it's going to know that it's probably a social security number. So it's going to set it up like that. You know, if it's a 10 number, it's going to know that it's probably going to be a telephone number. Kind of going to set it up that way. It'll set it up in a date. It'll set it up in money. It'll set it up in time. So, I mean, it already kind of knows when there's numbers involved that you're probably going to do something like that. So it kind of sets it up for you. But there's ways to write in your writing, actual writing, that you set it up and it automatically does it. I think it might be a little bit too much for you guys right now. So I think we're going to wait till probably the advanced class to kind of show y'all that video, because it's really in depth. But it's really good. It's really good. But the Automagic keys kind of does it for you right now. So we'll go through the number conversions.
With Eclipse, 2 basic steps will give you excellent number translation. Fine-tune your dictionary, and fine-tune your number settings. Pure number bar strokes aren't even necessary in your dictionary. Other numbers building blocks will be defined as words, not digits. 100, 1,000, million describe orders of magnitude. Write the word dollars when you hear it, not before, and it, like other money words, will trigger number conversion with the appropriate currency symbol. If a number doesn't translate right, it's probably because of an old dictionary entry. Remove such entries and your building blocks will work properly. A separate presentation deals with finding and moving entries in and out of your dictionary. Occasionally you'll want to convert numbers after translation. Mark the number first, then click on the toolbar icon, or use the menu or the speed key, Control and the pound key together. Here you see your number as it starts out, and as it would look depending on which format you choose. However, your numbers settings will control, and so the gear icon takes you quickly to adjust those settings. Within these short presentations, it's not possible to show all that Eclipse automatic number conversion can do. So a separate in-depth ePower video tutorial is available on automatic number conversion.
Do you understand that? I'm going to take the blank look as no. Very good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about on the video. The video is way more in depth. It's, I mean, to the point where, you know, even someone like me has to really listen to it to understand kind of what's going on. And, you know, if you guys, and if I barely understand, I think it may go way over your head. So I don't want to overdo it. So I'm going to go through it slower and then kind of pick out some things that I want to explain to y'all.
With Eclipse, 2 basic steps will give you excellent number translation. Fine-tune your dictionary, and fine-tune your number settings. Pure number bar strokes aren't even necessary in your dictionary. Other numbers building blocks will be different. Bar strokes aren't even necessary in your dictionary. Other numbers building blocks will be defined as words, not digits. 100, 1,000.
Okay, what they're explaining here is that, like, you know, do you want the number in words or do you want the number in numbers? Well, there's a way that you can go into your user settings and change that. And that's kind of on the in-depth one on the video. I can kind of go through it if y'all want to and explain it. And it kind of shows you because it'll do kind of whatever you want and it gives you that option. Let me open it up and see if I can do it.
That'd be nice, thank you.
I'm sorry?
That'd be really nice.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Would that be sweet?
Yes.
That would be sweet.
Very sweet.
Okay. Right here, where it says ignore written numbers, be careful. Be careful with that. You can check that, and it's going to ignore written numbers, and it's always going to put them in numbers. Does that make sense to you guys? It's not going to write it out. So be careful when you have that checked, you know, because you don't always want that. Okay?
So if you're ignoring a written number, what does that mean? Like if you check that, what's it gonna do? Like I put in the number 3, it's
Well,
gonna
see, and
write
like
out?
some of you guys, and I don't know if you took Mark's theory, other theories, whether you use the number bar. If you don't use the number bar, then it's not gonna matter.
We do. We use it somewhat.
Everybody uses a number bar?
I
Huh?
do.
No.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. If you use a number bar, it's a lot more helpful. If you don't, it's no big deal. Because you can still do it, and the software kind of knows how to do it.
Okay.
You know, so it's not going to matter completely, but the software is going to know. So even if I write out 2, TWO, I put my cursor on 2, Automagic is going to come over here and say, do you want the number 2? And it gives me that as an option. So you can always change it. It's not that big of a deal, you know? So, processing and as numbers is like when they say 473 and 64 cents.
You're gonna put the period, the decimal.
They're gonna know to change it, that it leaves the and out. And put in the cents at the end. You have to be careful with the way that you write, guys, because you want to write it in different ways. Cent, cents, cents, cents. There's 3 or 4 of them. S-I-N-C-E, S-E-N-S-E, S-C-E-N-T-S, and cents, C-E-N-T-S. So there's 4 different ways to write it. So you're gonna have to figure out a way to write it 4 different ways so that it doesn't conflict with something else. Okay? Now cents, the way that I write cents is K, Kents.
Right.
It's really K-E-N-S is really what it is cents. You can write it K-R, K-R-E-N-T,
That's how we're taught.
that's C. For those of y'all that a little slow, K-R-C. So, for the slow ones in the back, K-R-C. No.
Don't worry.
No, but I mean, you know, and like scent, like the smell of something is S-K. S-K-E-N-T is scent. And then, you know, sense is S-E-N-S-E, and then S-I-N-C-E is S-I-N-S. Okay? So that's
What
the
you're
4
saying
different ways of
is
writing it.
you, that's the way you do it?
What's that?
Or is that the way Stinette has it?
What's that?
I'm just curious, because we never done scent, S-C-E-N-T, like the smell of something. I would have
It's
thought it was,
S-K.
yeah. I thought it would have been.
S-K-E-N-T.
Okay, I'll try.
Yeah, because there's not, I don't know that it's going to
Asterisk.
conflict with skint.
I thought, I thought it would
But
be
it
an
may.
asterisk.
It may.
Smart
I want to
guess.
Google skint. I don't think it conflicts, but whatever. So that's what I'm talking about, is when you write dollars, it kind of knows to convert it.
Right.
It already kind of knows to convert it.
And PM, we've seen it where it pops right on over.
Yeah, so it's D-L-A-R-S, dollars. D-L-A-R-S is dollars. You don't have to do dollars, okay? D-L-A-R-S.
If you're trying to do... Oh, hold on. I'm so tired. Okay, if you're trying to save.
Hold on. I'm tired.
If you're trying to save $300
Yeah.
and you're saying DAL or whatever you do for dollars.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I do. It might work for y'all, but I do 300, and then on the last zero, I just hit DZ and it comes up.
Yeah. And you can. You can do it that way also. DZ also knows that it's probably dollars. Okay? So, I mean, you can do it both ways. And that's what it kind of tells you in the advanced thing, is that you can write it together.
1,000 THOU
DZ.
Yeah, we've worked with
So you can do it 3 HUNDZ, Huns.
that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if that's the way you want to do it, great. But, I mean, if they say $37, you do 37 DZ in one stroke?
With the asterisk. Hold on.
Hmm?
Hold on. Yeah, 37. Yeah, you can do it in one stroke.
I don't do it that way, but you can.
The final.
I know with the 100,000, million, trillion, billion.
And then to get the numbers to flip the opposite way, like say you're using the number bar and you want to do 73 instead of 37, just hit 37 with the asterisk.
Oh, that's cool. Flips it.
And it flips it. That's somebody else's theory. I don't know whose that is.
I'm a Kisling Mary.
Yeah, that cat. So that's on the video too, about how he does 1E. 1E
Oh, yeah.
to him means 11.
I don't do that.
If you learn STEM Ed, that's first for me. 1E is first. 2E is second. To him, it's 22. So it's duplicating the number when he does the E on the video. So,
Oh, yeah, it makes it
and you'll kind of see that whenever I show the video or whatever. And I may show the video towards the end of the semester, and we may go through that.
I can't think of it fast enough.
What's that?
Duplicating like the E, I can't. I just hit 1 and then keep.
And that's just it, guys. If it doesn't come to you as second nature, then don't do it. Just hit 2-2. I mean, and they were showing it on the video. I guarantee I can hit 2-2 almost as quick as he can hit 1E. It's just one more stroke. It's not that big of a deal. It's not going to slow you down that much. But if it makes sense to you, whatever. On his, when he does 2 numbers, it means to reverse it. So if he writes 37E, it means 73. Crazy. Crazy. So if you just write 37, then it's just 37. But if you do 37E, it's 73. I
So
won't
that you don't
get
have to do
completely
the
into it.
7-3. So you don't have to do it backwards then. Because for us it'd be 7-3 rather than.
No, you could just do 37 with the asterisk.
Yeah.
And then change
I
it.
see why he'd do that. So you don't have to think
To keep it as
7-3.
one stroke?
Yeah.
But
Well, on the video, they do it as E. E means to turn it around.
No, asterisk. Turn
Whatever.
it around. E doubles the number. Asterisk
for-
flips it. E doubles the number. So if you hit 2E.
Not for him. If it's 2 numbers, then that means turn it around. Whatever. But if it's just one number, that means duplicate the number, but whatever. So that's what the and mean.
No, this is just.
Right here. Write out numbers. That's what it's going to do. It's going to write them out. So do you want 1 through 10 always written out? If you do, that's how you set it up.
Oh, that's what mine does. Like I press 1 and I'm gonna do a sentence, 1 period. And then I start my sentence and it says 1, O-N-E.
Yeah.
So mine's checked off somehow.
So if you want to change that, that's how you change it. Come in this box right there,
All right.
and it'll show you, you can change it to no values, or you can change it to all values. Or you can change it to where it does 1 through 100, 200, 300, whatever. I don't know why you would do that, but this is pretty much the standard way of setting it up right here, is 1 through 10. Okay? And you might want to go through there into your user settings and see that, you know, that it's kind of set up like that. Okay, any questions? No?
No.
All right.
Here are two quick examples of how to fine-tune your numbers settings. The numbers section of your user settings asks two general questions. First, how do you write numbers? So what do you even want number conversion to process? And second, what kinds of numbers do you want in words as opposed to digits? This first writer doesn't use the number bar and wrote the word "and" when it was heard. So ignore written numbers is not turned on, but process "and" as part of a number is turned on. For general quantity numbers, this user has Eclipse write out 1 through 10, but put 11 and above in digits. For currency, do not write out any numbers, just use digits. And for ordinals, write out 1st through 10th. There are different settings for what to write out at the start of a sentence. And as of 1 million, Eclipse will use words to make large round numbers easier to read. This number bar user uses word strokes to indicate when a number from 1 to 10 should not be in digits. So ignore written numbers is turned on, and Eclipse is not being asked to write out any values. Number conversion is treated at length in the efficient editing tutorial, so be sure to look at it.
Can you talk about that last thing again? Ignore written numbers and,
Yeah, I'll go through it again.
okay.
Here are two quick examples of how to fine-tune your numbers settings. The numbers section of your user settings asks two general questions. First, how do you write numbers? So what do you even want number conversion to process? And second, what kinds of numbers do you want in words as opposed to digits? This first writer doesn't use the number bar and wrote the word "and" when it was heard. So ignore written numbers is not turned on, but process "and" as part of a number is turned on. For general quantity numbers, this user has Eclipse write out 1 through 10, but put 11 and above in digits.
That's what I was just talking about. Okay? It's going to write out 1 through 10. If you have that checked, if you have this in this,
What if you don't want it to? Can I take that off?
Yeah.
Like, can I put no value? Is that what it is? Is that what it says? No value?
yeah,
Because like I said, if I'm doing sentences, I do 1 period and the word "one" comes up instead of the number 1. 1 period, and then I start my sentence.
What do you
2
want?
Period. Huh?
that's what you want,
No,
right?
I want the number 1, not ONE period. So I would put no value
Yeah.
and ignore.
Make sure that you have it on quantity,
Yeah.
not currency or ordinal, because they're all different. It's going to change it every time you check one of these. It's going to change these things. So it gives you a different box. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay.
For currency, do not write out any numbers, just use digits. And for ordinals, write out
Do y'all know what ordinals are?
Yeah.
Everyone?
4th, 5th, 6th.
First, second, third, fourth.
1st through 10th. There are different settings for what to write out at the start of a sentence.
Be careful right here, because like, I don't know how you guys were taught. I was taught at the beginning of a sentence, you always write it out.
Always.
It's always in written, not in numbers. Okay? If you learn different, you go to work for a firm and they tell you, you write it exactly the way that it was said, you do what they tell you to do.
So what
If
do you
not-
want said on this? Like, I want to start the sentence with the number written out in word form. What are you putting there?
I don't know what,
No
there
value?
might be no value.
That's what I would think.
Is that what you think?
'Cause you know I know everything here.
Well, yeah.
But that would make sense, right?
Yeah, no value.
At the start of a sentence.
Okay? So be careful with that and how you want to set it up. You know? I'm just going to set it up the way that you do it. So that's why I do it two different ways. I write them out and I stroke them out. The numbers. You know, so if you use a number bar, use a number bar when you think it's needed, and if not, then I write it out when I think it needs to be written out. Okay?
And as of 1 million, Eclipse will use words to make large round numbers easier to read. This number bar user uses word stroke.
You see what they did right here? It's not going to be 3. It's not going to be the number 3 purchases. It's 3 purchases. Y'all know why that is?
No.
Under 10.
Just cause. No, I mean that's proper English right there. 3. 3 purchases.
Okay.
Not the number 3 purchases. Okay? And it knows, you know, and the way that they were doing it here was they wrote it out. See how they do it? DZ is dollars. And that's the way he does it. So Eclipse recognizes that. This is the way he does cents. Okay? SENTS. So you can do it however you want. That's the way that it's defined in Eclipse. Okay?
To indicate when a number from 1 to 10 should not be in digits. So ignore written numbers is turned on, and Eclipse is not being asked to write out any values. Number conversion is treated at length in the efficient editing tutorial, so be sure to look at it.
Any questions about that section?
Okay, so I don't write any numbers out, like
Alright.
ever. Like even if it was 3 purchases, whatever. I'll just hit 3, and then when I'm editing later, I just go back and change it to the word. Is that okay? Or
Yeah. As long as you know.
because I just get confused. Like if I'm gonna use number bar, I use number bar. If I'm gonna write it out, then I'm gonna write it out.
I'm not saying it will, but I'm not saying it's not going to cost you a test. All depends on who's grading that test,
I mean, I
on,
go back
on whether
and
they think that it's
change it.
right or not. And if it's in the test and it says THREE, and you put 3, number 3,
Well, we don't turn in our notes. So when we go back and edit the
no,
test,
that's what I'm talking about is editing. I don't care what you write in your notes. That doesn't matter to me.
When I go back and edit, whatever needs to be written out, I'll change it to
Mhm.
written out.
But the software can do it for you. And that's where that numbers from 1 through 10 written out or numbers written out.
I have mine set up that way. It just
Okay.
I don't ever use my keys to write the numbers.
Okay. And it's fine. I mean, if you want to write it like that, you know the difference, that's fine. You do it however you want. However is easiest for you guys is fine. You know, the software is probably going to know. So, it, you know, like I said, in the Auto Magic keys, it's going to give you that selection anyway. Even if you write out the number 3, it's going to give you the option of writing out THREE. That's going to be one of your options. Okay? Any questions? Here's kind of talking about time, guys, and You kind of want to be careful how you kind of set that up too. And I don't know if you guys are taught in English, you know how to do it, but you never want to set it up like that with the clock. 9:00 o'clock. I was always taught that means 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So you never want to do it twice. And the way that you set this up is always with written numbers. I mean with written letters. So it's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12, TWELVE, 12 o'clock, that way. Not this way. That's the way that I was taught. I don't know. I mean, to me it looks better written out than it does like that. I don't know. You know, I don't know that. I know you don't want to do that.
No, it's always got to be 9 something. 9
It's going to be :00 on the time. It's never just going to be 9
Okay.
when they're referring to time. You never want to just leave it as the number 9.
You can also leave 9 a.m., 9 p.m., right?
Well, I wouldn't leave it like that, 9 a.m. I'd leave it like this, 9 a.m., 9:00 a.m. You can do it however you want. The person you go to work for, when they're proofing your stuff, may tell you different. You know, you may want to ask them how they want it done, whatever. But if, you know, you don't really have anybody overlooking your work, then, I mean, to me it looks better this way. But, you know, I was kind of taught that this means 9 o'clock a.m., you know, so when they say 9 a.m., but, you know, to me the only difference to where I thought that it was wrong is when you write it like that with o'clock. That's the only way that I've really seen that it was wrong. Never use it like that either. Any questions about that?